My mom started neglecting me after she came out of the closet, so I said something that I can't take back, and now I don't know if she'll ever want to be my mom again. Posted by I16F, mostly live with my dad, but I spend one weekend every month with my mom. They divorced 3 years ago. Mom moved in with my cousin, and it was cool because I went there all the time. About a year and a half ago, Mom made me go there, introduced me to this girl, came out to me, and said they were dating. She and her fiancé are engaged now. She also said they were moving to Victoria in a week. So yeah, after a week, she was gone. From where I am to her, it's a drive, a ferry ride, and then another drive. It takes a while to see her, which is why I can only go once a month. Since she left, everything's been so sucky between us. Now it's just a good morning message and a 5-minute FaceTime good night. Everything else that changed when she just dipped like that sucks too. I don't even like visiting her because it feels like I don't belong with her and her fiancé, but I went because I thought she wanted to see me, and I miss her a lot every day. This weekend, I was in Victoria, and she was FaceTiming my cousin while I was studying, and they got into wedding talk. She said stuff like how her life is 100 times better since she left, how she's finally found real happiness with her fiancé, that her fiancé is her world now, and how she can't wait to fully move on from her old life. It just made me so freaking angry, like, her life is so much better with me barely in it? And move on from that old life? But I'm from that old life. I guess she noticed I was pissed because at night she tried to talk to me. I said I didn't want to talk, but she said she deserves to know when something's wrong with her girl, especially since I always seem so depressed whenever I come over. That just made me snap, and I lost it and started shouting at her. I was like, I hate the way she came out because my life got a lot worse, and it ruined things between us, and it sucks that it feels like she wants me gone because she's happier without me. That started a pretty bad argument because she said I was blowing it out of proportion and that I just don't understand. Then Mom just left the room, but I heard her crying when I walked by her room on my way to the washroom at night. In the morning, her fiancé drove me to the ferry ride after breakfast instead of after dinner. Since then, it's been just text because I didn't want to talk to her. My dad and his girlfriend have noticed my attitude, so yesterday I told them what happened. He flipped, telling me I couldn't say that stuff to my mom, and his girlfriend said I was a jerk for saying it. Before I went to sleep, I FaceTimed my mom to talk again, and she said my happiness is hers and that if she's the reason I'm depressed, I shouldn't see her until I'm ready. Now I don't know if I was wrong to say those things to my mom or what I should even do. My counselor is still in Barbados. My dad's at work, and his girlfriend said she's staying out of it, and my cousin did too. Update 1 month later. So a lot has happened since my last post, and I just feel worse than before. I didn't plan on posting here again, but you all were so nice that I thought it couldn't hurt to hear what you have to say. I called my uncle. He wanted to see me, because I was scared my dad had told him, and I was worried he might be ashamed of me too. He's gay, and he's my favorite uncle ever. He picked me up after school, and I went to his apartment, and he just gave me a big hug because he knew something was up. I told him what I said and why I said it, and that I was scared he'd be mad at me too if my dad had been the one to tell him. He just told me he isn't mad and that he understands. We played basketball at the court nearby until it was time for him to drop me off. That was the last time I actually felt happy because the rest of this month has been absolute crap. I called my mom the day after to apologize and talk about how I feel, but all she did was get mad at me for telling my uncle. She said I'm not allowed to share things about her home without her permission. I apologized for both things, but she said it didn't matter anymore and hung up. Then her fiancé texted me and said to give my mom a few days to calm down, which just made me mad because why should I? She's my mom, I should be able to call her whenever I want, but when I tried, she declined my call, and I think she turned off her phone. I don't know, I haven't slept properly at all since then because I think I ruined things with my mom for good. All she's been doing is texting me, and we've barely actually talked. I keep thinking about it, and my thoughts and dreams just get all messed up. It's like I get this soft lump in my stomach that keeps coming and going the more I think about it. It feels like I was right about being part of her old life, and I wish I'd never said what I did to her. It turns out I was supposed to get a tetanus shot when I was 11, but for some reason, I didn't. We're not anti-vaxxers. So I had to get it now because my dad said Vancouver Coastal Health Authority was on his case, and I ended up having a terrible allergic reaction to it. I was sent to the hospital for a week because of it. Apparently, it was a super rare reaction, lucky me, and that messed up my exams too. My mom didn't even come to see me because she was going to a cabin with her fiancé the day after. She talked to my dad on the phone and found out how bad it was, but just texted me saying she knew I'd be fine and that if I was still there when she got back, she'd come right away. It made me want to stay in the hospital longer. She didn't come. Everyone else did. My cousin came every day, my dad's girlfriend even stayed with me for a few nights, and my nieces, my boyfriend's mom, and my best friend's mom all visited. But not my mom. When I got out, all I got was a text saying, "So happy you're out of the hospital, baby," along with a selfie of her and her partner showing off the cabin. I couldn't stop looking at that stupid photo. I obsessed over it for days, and I kept getting that same sick feeling in my stomach, so I smashed my phone. My dad's girlfriend heard, and he set up an emergency meeting with my counselor. She's a psychologist, but I've always called her that. I told her everything, with more details obviously, and at the end, she said I'm very likely depressed and might need treatment. I got scared and asked her to tell my dad, so she did, and she also told us to get a referral to a psychiatrist from our family doctor for a proper diagnosis or treatment options, or we could just get it from the family doctor. My dad got scared and made sure we got the referral the next day. He made the appointment and asked my mom to come, but she said she wouldn't be able to and just texted me to stay strong and remember that I'm the most important thing in the world to her. I don't know what to do. I don't want meds or anything, I just want my mom to love me like she used to. If you guys have any advice on what to do, I need to hear it, because it feels like my mom isn't even listening to me anymore, and the appointment is on Friday. I'm feeling scared. Second update 3 months 2 weeks later. So, I would have made an update earlier, but I just didn't have time. I'm in the hospital right now, recovering from my ankle surgery, and all I have is time until I can go home on Friday, so I thought I might as well update. The day after I wrote my post, I had my niece's mom, my cousin-in-law, but she introduces me as her little sister, so sister-in-law, drive me to my uncle, and he just gave me the biggest hug ever. I don't know, I just ended up crying a little, and they ended up calming me down. I told my uncle about the appointment with a psychiatrist and that I was scared, even though everybody, you guys, was saying it would be okay, and that I'd just been so unhappy and that I just missed my mom so much. He agreed to go with me and my dad to the psychiatrist because my mom wouldn't be coming. I don't know, I just didn't sleep at all that night and felt so scared in the morning. I kept thinking about my mom and didn't want to go to school either, but I did. I just felt so weird, like that feeling in my stomach was there and not going away. Only hanging out with my boyfriend felt right, and before lunchtime, I fell asleep in class and got sent to the office. They phoned my dad, and he signed me out and dropped me off at my uncle's house. He was already taking care of my niece, so I felt bad, but I went to sleep at the same time as her, and he took a really cute photo of us sleeping next to each other. He woke me up when my dad came back, and we went to the psychiatrist together. Long story short, at the end of the appointment, the psychiatrist prescribed me a really low dose of antidepressants because I'm still scared. I've been taking them, and they have made me feel a bit better, but I have another appointment next week because my counselor says I might need a higher dose. When I vented to my counselor, she said she'd be willing to host an extra joint session between me and my mom on Zoom if my mom agreed, and that it might help if I got my feelings across with a third party. I didn't want to do it, but some of you recommended it, and my counselor said it could be a good first step. So I called my mom, and it was a short conversation again, but she agreed to the counseling session, and all I had to do was send her the Zoom link, so we set one up for later. So, I had the Zoom session in our computer room so I'd be all alone, and at first, my mom seemed so excited because she was like, we can work through our issues and put them behind us. I don't want to talk about all of it, I mean, I couldn't anyway because I can't remember most of it, but it didn't go well at all. When my counselor brought up me not being with her that much, my mom said that when I came to UVic, University of Victoria, I'd obviously stay with her. I just said that after everything, I didn't even want to go to UVic anymore and would rather go to UBC because everybody here actually wants me. My mom said that was ridiculous since, outside of Waterloo, UVic was the best option for software engineering in Canada, and UBC only has electrical and computer engineering, so I'd have to go to her if I still wanted to do that. I remember my mom saying a few times that she'd spent over a decade doing nothing but being a mom, and now that she finally understood herself, she just wanted time to explore that, and I should appreciate it. At the end of it, I told my mom that I hated that she didn't come to see me in the hospital and that she didn't even phone me. I told her I was scared I might die, and she just said it wasn't that serious because it was a vaccine and vaccines protect us, so I shouldn't act like it was serious. I don't know, that made me mad, and I just muted my mic because I didn't want them to hear me crying. But I kind of had a breakdown and ran out to my dad and his fiancée because I was crying. They said they ended the session, but I don't know what they said to my mom or the counselor. Apparently, I fell asleep crying on the couch while hugging my dad, but I don't remember any of it. My dad said I was crying really loudly. I think they carried me to their bed because when I woke up in the morning, I was there, and my dad was on a mattress by the door and she was on one by the washroom door. They said it was to block me because they were scared I'd try something. My dad took my new phone and laptop from me for a bit and said it might be healthy for me to stay off them for a while. I have them back now. I haven't talked to my mom at all since then, not even good morning or good night texts. She hasn't contacted me at all about my broken ankle, even though I had surgery yesterday, and I feel like she doesn't even care that I got hurt. I know my dad told her I was going into surgery, but she hasn't called. I have my phone and laptop back now, but my dad made me delete Instagram and Snapchat because he's worried that seeing her on there might trigger me. A lot of you said I should stop talking to her, but I feel bad about it. When I think about it, it makes me feel worse, like it's over now and I don't have her anymore. I just want her back. The only time I find out what's going on with her is when I ask my cousin, who my mom stayed with after the divorce, and apparently, she's still happy and busy with all her wedding planning. Another thing that sucks is that I used to love watching Scream with my cousin, but now I can't even watch it because I feel bad for Billy since his mom left him too, and I feel bad for feeling that way because he's the villain. I couldn't even get through our rewatch, and we couldn't watch the new one. I told my counselor that I still feel really bad and sad and that nothing's changed, and she said I need to bring it up at my next appointment with a psychiatrist so he can increase my dose. I don't know, I feel confused, and I don't like not seeing or talking to my mom at all. I feel like I've done the wrong thing. I tried doing things we used to do with my dad's fiancée and my boyfriend's mom, but it's not the same, and I just miss her more, even though she probably doesn't miss me at all. I wish I could see her, but I don't want to keep ruining things for myself, because what if she doesn't want me anymore? I'd rant to my counselor about it, but I'm stuck in the hospital bed until Friday, so I guess that's why I'm back here, looking for advice on what to do when I'm out of here. Third update 2 months 1 week later. Hey guys, I'm posting again because I'm confused about what's going on, and I thought maybe I'd get some opinions here before I bring it up with my therapist. Basically, I don't know if my mom still hates me or if she now wants to be my mom again. Everything she's done lately has made it so confusing. So, my foot is still bad. The doctor said it's healing, but I'm mostly confined to crutches or a wheelchair, so I'm not really able to go to many places. I mean, I can go anywhere, but I don't because it just takes too long to get around. I'm guessing my cousin told my mom because apparently, she came to New Westminster to do her wedding dress shopping with my cousin and her fiancé, and she didn't even tell me. I know we hadn't talked since the therapy session, but she promised me that I would get to do that with her, and she didn't even tell me. I found out because when I visited my cousin, she showed me the dresses she was going to wear at the wedding and the reception and the ones my mom and her got for me to wear at those. I was confused because I was sad she didn't take me, but happy because that meant she still wanted me there. Anyway, her wedding was on Canada Day, and I went with my cousin to Victoria a week earlier. My dad did say I didn't need to go, but I didn't want to miss it. We stayed at an Airbnb that my mom got for some of our relatives because her place was too small. She didn't come to visit me there, but my cousin went to meet her, and I didn't go because my foot was hurting really badly. When she came back, she said my mom was really disappointed I didn't come as well. The day after, I was going to go shopping downtown with my cousin, but then my mom came. When she saw me, she didn't give me a hug like she usually does. She just kind of held my shoulders, gave an awkward kiss on the cheek, and said she was glad I decided to come. Then she kind of turned me over to my aunt, my mom's cousin, to go shopping with instead, because she and my cousin would be busy that week with all the wedding stuff and making sure everything went perfectly, so we couldn't go downtown. I love my aunt, so it wasn't bad going downtown with her. She didn't even mind pushing me in the wheelchair, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. 2 days before the wedding, they had this really big meet the family's dinner where my mom and her wife were introducing people to their relatives. Because my foot was swollen and the boot was hurting, I had to go in the wheelchair. My mom didn't even introduce me to people, and one of the few times I was able to talk to her, a guy related to her wife interrupted us, asked who I was, and she just said, "Don't worry about her," then had one of my aunts wheel me away. That made me really upset, but I did feel a bit better because her fiancé's parents brought gifts for me, not really my kind of stuff. I think they thought I was younger than I am. The wedding itself was cool. My foot wasn't badly swollen then, so I was able to use my crutches. My mom acted so differently and made me take a bunch of pictures with her and her fiancé, and she seemed so happy, even telling me that it was the best day of her life only because I came. At the reception, I wore the dress she got me, but I couldn't walk with crutches while wearing it, unlike the wedding one. So my aunt made me go in that dress and in my wheelchair, even though I didn't want to. My cousin said I could wear a different dress, but my aunt was like, "Your mom got the dress specially for you and will be upset if you don't wear it." Then at the reception, I wasn't seated at the family table near the stage where she and her fiancé sat, but at a table with kids I didn't even know, even though some of my younger relatives were at the family table. My aunt said they moved me there because of my wheelchair, but I just don't get why I couldn't be with my family. My mom didn't even take a photo with me at the reception. She just came by once to say hi, and I wasn't even in the family photo because we didn't bring my crutches. My aunt said my mom told them to leave me out because they couldn't fit me in. Then the day after, when we were going home, my mom came to say goodbye to us. She talked to me alone for a minute and then said she was sorry for everything that happened between us before, and that she hoped we could get past it. But if we couldn't, she was still happy I came to her wedding. I didn't really get a chance to say anything because she just hugged me and sent us on our way. I don't feel that sad about everything anymore, though, because I think the antidepressants have been helping. I've been feeling happier for about a month now, and nothing has happened to me like I was afraid it might. For the last 2 weeks, my mom has been texting good morning and good night again, even though I haven't done anything like text, call, phone, or FaceTime since the therapy session with her. It hasn't been more than that, but I've been saying it back. I'm just confused by the way she's acting and what she wants. Do you guys have any clue or advice? Fourth update 1 month later. So I got a phone call from my mom, and I answered because I guess I was curious since she had only been texting me since her wedding. She said she wanted me to come over, and even though I was really missing her, I said no because I was going to Seattle with my uncle's family that weekend. I think I would have said no anyway because I was just planning on staying away, like everybody here suggested, and my counselor also said it might be good to define my life without her. She said okay, but the day after, I think she called my dad because he came and said I had to go to Victoria instead. I told him I didn't want to go, but we ended up arguing, and he said I didn't have a choice and that my uncle would take me somewhere when I got back. So my dad dropped my cousin and me off at the ferry, and when we got to Victoria, it turned out my mom and her wife, I guess my stepmom now, had moved into their new house. My mom's wife wasn't there because she was in Ottawa for work, but her parents did come. They're really nice and kind of went on about how they thought they'd never have grandkids and were so happy when they learned my mom had me. They offered to get me some presents this time, but my mom let them take me to dinner at some pierogi place downtown instead. I don't know what to think about the visit because so much of it was good, but the one bad part was really bad. When I got there, I wanted to talk to her about the stuff at her wedding and everything else, and I wanted to tell her that I would rather have gone with my uncle. But then I just felt really nervous and couldn't because, I don't know, I kind of felt like I'd ruin the entire trip if I did. So I just didn't, and maybe that was the wrong thing. The first thing I noticed in her house was her giant graduation picture, where she's holding baby me, above the fireplace. Then my mom surprised me by showing me my room, and it's perfect. I have a huge bed, a big personal bathroom, a walk-in closet, one of those fancy standing desks, and a TV. It's all white because my mom said that when her foot is better, she wants me to come and paint and decorate it all with her. She even promised she'd never let anybody use the room, even if I'm not there that often. The first night, after I got back from the pierogi place, my mom, my cousin, and I stayed up so late just watching TV, and I even fell asleep hugging her. The next day, we went downtown, and my mom took us shopping and then to the Royal BC Museum, the one with the mammoths. My foot and hands really started hurting afterward because my mom made me use my crutches instead of the wheelchair, saying it would be good exercise, so then she took us to a spa. We took so many pictures, and I'm pretty sure she put them on Instagram, but I'm not allowed on it anymore, so I'm not sure. I was really tired when we got back, so I conked out right away, and when I woke up in the morning, Mom actually brought me pancakes in bed because of my foot, and because I love it when she makes those. The rest of that day was good too, except at night my mom said that when I moved in for university, we could make every day like this. So I reminded her that I might go to UBC instead. We got into a really big argument about university, and I did scream at her and bring up stuff from before. Basically, my mom said she wants me to go to UVic if I still want to do software engineering and mentioned that if I wanted to do any other kind of engineering, she wouldn't mind paying for UBC, but that it's not good for software. She did say she would still pay no matter where I went, but she'd be really disappointed if I chose not to go to the best university for my degree, where I could stay with her, just because I blamed her coming out and moving for everything bad that's happened to me since then. She also said I needed to stop exaggerating how bad everything has been because it shouldn't make me change my university plans. I tried telling her that's not what I meant, but I couldn't say it right, and I ended up crying. She seemed to get really mad, though she didn't yell or anything. She just gave a frustrated sigh and said I needed to stop crying, grow up, and accept that she handled things the best way she could, and that my attitude problems were the reason it's been a bad year for us. That just made me cry more, and then she said if I don't grow up, I'm never going to get a husband, and she left the room. I just kept crying because I don't feel like any of that is true, and the husband part was so weird. I honestly can't stop thinking about that part specifically. Half an hour later, she came back with water, made me drink, and started telling me again how if I want to do computer, electrical, or any other engineering, she'd support UBC, but that UVic is the best for software outside of Waterloo. She said she doesn't want to send me so far away but will still pay for it if that's what I choose. I don't know why she wanted to keep talking about that, but I didn't want to, so I just agreed when she said she'll take me to talk to an advisor to convince me next time I come over. My cousin and I left early the next morning, so yesterday, and my mom said she'd try to come over for my birthday because her in-laws really wanted to attend. She also said she'd try to make an appointment at UVic once my foot's better. The thing is, that argument was the one bad part of the visit. Everything else would have been perfect because it was just like it used to be with her, and I don't even know if I'd be posting if it hadn't been for that. But I just can't stop thinking about the stuff she said when we argued. I don't even know why she brought up the husband thing. I just don't get what the hell she meant by that or why she would say it. I'm not going to smash my phone this time, but I do feel mad thinking about it. I told my cousin about the argument we had on the way back, and she said she personally thinks I should go to UBC and would try to convince my mom, but that she thinks my mom just wants me to live with her again. I told my dad and his fiancée about it, and he apologized for making me go but said that he had to. He and his fiancée have checked on me a dozen times already. I keep getting that stupid feeling in my stomach every time I think about it, and I wish I'd been able to go with my uncle instead. But I'm going to spend the rest of the week at his apartment, so I guess it's fine. I'm going to see my counselor again today before my uncle picks me up. Does anyone have any advice I can bring up? We went through comments posted here last time. 5th update 3 months 2 weeks later. So, some stuff has happened. I've pretty much just been texting with my mom since my visit to her. I tried to keep it to good night/good morning, but when I didn't respond to her other messages, she phoned my dad, and he told me I didn't have to call her but should at least respond to her other messages. I did have to go to Victoria for Thanksgiving because her wife's whole family was going to be there, and she told my dad I had to go. I was only there for 3 days with my cousin, and the first 2 days, my mom pretty much spent with me, and it was like it used to be again. She and I went shopping, and we even cuddled to sleep while watching TV again, but on the 3rd day, she and her wife were focused on the dinner and guests and everything, so I get it. Yeah, I was upset that she paid very little attention to me, but her wife's entire immediate family was there, and I understand that she needed to focus on them. But when we left after dinner, we had to take the really late ferry. My mom said goodbye and then she was going to book a meeting at UVic to take me to and didn't even give me a second to talk about it before waving us goodbye. And then it went back to just texting good morning/good night until my birthday. So then my mom and her wife came with her wife's parents because my mom said they really wanted to celebrate my birthday. I guess they're my step-grandparents, but I really like them, and they seem to really like me too. I mean, step-grandma said the best thing about the wedding was that they finally got a grandchild, and they brought a lot of presents for me. They have a niece around my age, and they had her go out with them to get a bunch of things they thought someone my age would like, and I do like them. My mom got me an album of pictures of us and said to look at the photos whenever I miss her because it'll make it feel like she's right there with me. At the party, mom and dad seemed to get along just like when they were married. They were laughing, telling jokes, and even had me take goofy pictures with them like we all used to. Mom's wife got along with dad's fiancé and with my uncle, his son, and his son's wife. My mom didn't talk to my uncle at all beyond when he came to say hi to her, and she said hi in a really mean tone, which was weird since they used to be so close. I guess she's still mad at him for when I talked to him about what was going on. She was really weird with my boyfriend and kept making jokes about him and me getting married and making her a grandma. She straight up said to him, I don't want you to wait until I'm gray in my 40s to make me a grandma. But his mom also joined in on the jokes, so I guess it was just a mom thing? My mom and her wife left after only about an hour and a half to go stay at a fancy hotel all the way over by Cole Harbor, even though my dad offered them a room. When I asked my mom why she couldn't stay, she just said it wouldn't be appropriate to stay in the same house as him and that it's too painful for her because she designed the house. It did piss me off because they came at 4 o'clock, so when everyone was setting up, and I guess that means they missed the actual party. My step-grandparents stayed, though, and only left in the morning when my mom and her wife came to pick them up. Then at around 8:30, my mom FaceTimed me, but it looked like she and her wife were at the hotel spa or something. It doesn't make sense because I thought those places closed pretty early, but they were wearing robes and looked like they were somewhere really fancy. Then my mom said she had to hang up because she didn't want me to see them without clothes on, and they were both giggling about it. That really pissed me off that they ditched my birthday to hang out in a spa. Maybe they were actually doing something else, but I honestly don't even want to think about that any further. Then there was the album she gave me as a present. I didn't really think much about it at the time because I was just happy that she came. But I did try yesterday because my dad's fiancée was meeting with some of her relatives for last-minute planning since her and dad's wedding is on Sunday. I wasn't with them because I was studying, but when I left my room to get my charger, I heard them talking about me. My dad's fiancée was saying nice things about me, but her relatives were saying some crappy things about my mom, and she wasn't stopping them. She was also talking about how my mom is forcing my dad's hand to send me to her over winter break instead of to my uncle's, since that's when their honeymoon is. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, and I get now, as I'm writing about it, that what they were saying wasn't exactly wrong and they were only saying it because they didn't think I'd hear. But it really pissed me off, and it still does. So, because I was upset, I looked at the album. It's full of pictures of the two of us from when I was a baby until now. Behind each picture, she slid a note about why that memory is special or what the picture means to her if she can't remember. But it just made me angry because of how few photos there are after she moved to Victoria. Most of them are from the wedding day, and there's barely anything from before that. There's one photo in the album from about a month before she came out, when she was living at my cousin's house. My cousin and I had made cookies that day, and I surprised my mom with them. When I did, she hugged me so tight and told me she was so proud of me, and my cousin took the photo on her phone. But that night, I found her crying in her room, and she said it was because I'm growing up. She said something like how she wishes she could live in moments like that forever because she's so proud of me. And it just makes me so mad because that's what I want back. The fact that I'm not even in photos of her pre-wedding events, the reception, and so much other stuff in Victoria makes it seem like the album is her way of giving me proof that I've barely been in her life and that I should be happy for it. And I know I shouldn't be thinking that because she actually gave me such a good gift, and I'm poisoning it in my own mind instead of valuing it and all the memories inside. My therapist has been trying to help me define life without her, and it's hard because I don't want to. I can't let go of this feeling that it could be good again, and I don't want those people to be right. My therapist says it's okay to want that, but for my own sake, I need to prepare in case it doesn't ever happen, and it'll help once I'm in university. So I've been trying, but I hate it. I guess I came here again to ask for advice and for things I can bring up in therapy. 6th update 1 month later. So, the day after my dad and his fiancée got married, I guess she's also my stepmom now, I had to go to Victoria because my mom wanted me there. My cousin was supposed to come, but she changed plans because her boyfriend got time off work, so they went to Whistler instead. When I got to my mom's house, I was there for half an hour before finding out that my mom and her wife were going to Ottawa for her wife's job, so I'd be staying with my step-grandparents until Christmas weekend. I call them step-grandparents here because it makes sense, but in real life, I've started calling them Nana and Papa. I'll be honest, I had so much fun with them. I really love them both so much. Step-grandpa loves basketball as well, and he's also a Lakers fan. Step-grandma taught me how to knit. I'm not that good. They made me amazing breakfasts and lunches every day I was there. We would go out for dinner every night, and they even live closer to UVic than my mom does. They said if I go there, they'd turn a room into a study room for me. The thing was, when my mom came back and I went back to her place, she told me that while they were in Ottawa, she found out that my step-grandparents had bought a new car for me for Christmas. Mom was kind of angry because she thought it was too much, and honestly, I was just scared because I've never had anything that expensive before. But my mom talked it out with my dad, and apparently, it's all right. So, on Christmas, they brought me the car, and it is really cool. I was so nervous to drive it, but I do like it. I left it in Victoria because I don't want to drive by myself yet. My mom got me a lot of presents, so many, in fact, that it felt super overwhelming. After Christmas, we saw that new Disney movie Strange World because my mom and I both love those kinds of movies. In it, the main character is a teenager who has issues with his dad and grandpa, and he's also gay, but it's just who he is, and it's handled like it's completely normal in the movie. But as soon as it became clear that the character was gay, my mom got really quiet and kind of shut down. After the movie, she just went to her room without even saying goodnight to me. When I went to brush my teeth, I could hear her crying really hard to her wife. I know I shouldn't have listened, but I couldn't help it. She was crying about how being gay is so normal now and how she wishes she could have come out as a teenager and lived her life the way she should have, and how she and her wife could have gotten married way earlier. I felt really bad, but then I heard her say how many years she wasted as a soccer mom, and I got mad as well and just went to my room. I was kind of prepared to argue about the movie the next morning, but my mom didn't even come out of her room. Her wife said she was feeling sick, and when I went to say good morning, she stopped me, saying my mom didn't want me to see her like that. I could hear my mom throwing up, and when I said good morning through the door just to check on her, she said it back, but then started crying really loudly and had her wife take me away because she said she couldn't let me hear her cry. I just stayed watching TV after that because I felt really bad. It was my idea to watch that movie. Her wife kept going back and forth, trying to get her to eat. Apparently, she ate some bread, but then she threw that up too. Then my step-grandparents came because they were worried, and they took me for a drive to distract me. We went to Dairy Queen even though it was really cold, and it did help get my mind off things, until step-grandpa answered a call from my mom's wife. I overheard him telling her to take my mom to the hospital, but then I heard her say that my mom would rather die than go there and mention how my mom didn't see her parents in the hospital and didn't even go to see me. When my step-grandparents asked if that was true, I said it was, and even though I tried not to, I cried. They got me to stop, but I still feel so embarrassed that I cried in front of them. But despite that, we had a good day together. When my step-grandparents dropped me off, my mom was on the couch and called me over, giving me a big hug, but it felt like she was holding back tears. She told me she wasn't feeling good at all and asked if I wouldn't mind going back to my step-grandparents the next day. Her wife suggested maybe sending me back to Vancouver to stay with my uncle, and my mom just got so angry that it actually scared me. She went on a rant about how she wasn't going to let me see him, saying he's been trying to turn me against her and that he hates her because she doesn't have AIDS trauma, which didn't make sense because my uncle doesn't have AIDS. She said he needs to get over himself, remember that my dad is his brother, not his son, and focus on his actual granddaughter. Her wife tried to calm her down, but then my mom yelled that she wishes my uncle would just die, and that it was the worst decision of her life to pity my dad and not take me with her when she left. I had no idea she hated him that much. When I was younger, they were always so close, and my dad would even joke sometimes about her stealing his brother. I started crying really badly because he's my favorite uncle, but that just made my mom angrier. She told her wife that it was proof no one understands and that my uncle is trying to steal me because I'm the best thing in her life. Then she actually yelled at me to stop crying, saying that I cry more than I did when I was a baby, and then she brought up the thing about me not getting a husband again. Her wife just took my mom to their room, leaving me on the couch. I couldn't stop crying, and I just fell asleep there because I didn't feel like I could move. In the morning, I woke up still on the couch, but there was a blanket over me, and my head was in my mom's lap. I really felt like crying again, but I held it in. Then, my mom actually apologized. She said she doesn't know what's been happening to her since we saw the movie, but it was no excuse to yell at me for crying, and she's so sorry for hurting me so badly. She said she's starting to understand how horrible she's been to me the entire winter break. She called her wife over and had her apologize to me too. After breakfast, we had a really big talk about how she was feeling. She seemed genuinely sorry and promised she'd never get mad at me for crying again. What mattered most to me was when she said she was sorry for taking all her anger about my uncle out on me and that it was wrong to do that. She admitted it was wrong to let me know how she feels because it would be unfair to make me stop loving him. She said she knows I might not forgive her, but even if I do, she'll never forgive herself, and she promised to try to change back to the mom I need her to be so we can get back to normal. She even offered to let me go to him, and I don't know why I didn't say yes, but I felt like I still had to stay. I talked to her wife too, and she was really sorry for what happened. She said she'd never seen my mom act that way before and just wanted to calm things down. She admitted she was wrong not to take my side, and apparently my mom was mad at her for not doing that, which made her feel really guilty. She told me she's the one who put the blanket on me and stayed by me until about 4 a.m., when my mom came and took over. She also said she'd do whatever it takes to earn my forgiveness and that she wishes she had never hurt me. She said I become such an important part of her life and that she's so grateful I love her parents. For the rest of the break, my mom didn't talk much, but she did start eating again, though not very much. My step-grandparents came over every day to check on me. Mom seemed to get a little bit better on New Year's, but every time I asked how she was feeling, she would just say she's fine and that it's her job to worry about me, not the other way around. I went home the day after New Year's because school was starting, but I had to go back on Friday. I got back Sunday night, because I had a meeting at UVic. When I saw my mom again, she seemed really different, almost smaller somehow, and she definitely looked skinnier. I know it had only been 2 weeks, but she seemed thinner, and although she still seemed sad, it felt like she was at least trying to pretend to be happy. The meeting at UVic went really well, and it really does seem like an amazing place to go to school. Even though I'm not sure if I want to do engineering anymore, there's still a lot there that interests me. My mom made me sign up to check out UBC, SFU, and Longarra too. She also mentioned that she and her wife are going to Ontario in February, and we can do a road trip together while her wife is working to check out universities there like Waterloo, McMaster, and University of Toronto. She said she wanted me to know I can choose to go to any of them, but she's confident I'll choose to come to her. Aside from the meeting, though, my mom didn't leave home at all. I did, to hang out with my step-grandparents, but when I was there, she cuddled me almost the entire day unless we were eating. Her wife told me she's been working from home. I don't really know what to make of all this, if it means I'm getting my mom back like she used to be, or if she's just going to keep changing, or if she might be depressed now too. I wasn't planning on posting, but I feel like I need people's opinions on what could be happening with her. 7th update 2 months later. So, I'm posting here because I've gotten a lot of DMs, and I guess I just want to address things. My spring break is almost over, with just this week left, so I don't know how much more I'll be on here. So, first, I haven't seen my mom since winter break, and I do miss her a lot. It's weird because I don't want to go to her house, and my therapist has been helping me deal with it, saying this is the time to learn to be myself, but I do miss her a lot, and I wish I could see her. At the beginning of last month, my mom started going to therapy herself, and I was supposed to go see her for Valentine's Day, but her therapist said she was unstable and made it an unsafe environment for me, so I couldn't go. She texts me good morning and good night every day, but whenever I've called or FaceTimed, she would hang up, and I know that because it ends after a ring, or she texts me not to call. I talk to her wife on the phone every week, and she says she's been getting better. My cousin got engaged last week, and my mom did call me then. My mom and my cousin are really close, and I'm so happy she's getting married, so it's a big deal for all of us. My mom promised me that she'll come over whenever my cousin actually starts planning because she doesn't want to get married until November. She started making those jokes again about me and my boyfriend being next but stopped when I asked. When she called, my mom told me that therapy has helped her see she had the wrong view on some things, so she said she's sorry for not taking me with her when she came out and moved. She said that's why I was being resentful and thinking horrible things, and if she could do it all over again, she would have taken me so we could be as close as we were. She said she didn't take me because she still loves my dad and was worried he would be broken without me, and she didn't want to uproot my life. She did say it was nice to get a break from being a day-to-day mom, but it hasn't been worth how bad things have gotten between us. She promised me I am the most important thing in her life, and when therapy gets her to a place where she can be herself again, we will be just like we used to. I don't know, every time I think about that call, it confuses me because I'm happy she finally said sorry and acknowledged that it's not my fault and that she was wrong to go without me. But at the same time, the call just made me feel like she's never going to get to where she needs to be, even though she's in therapy. I know I'm probably being ridiculous or worrying too much because I tried to tell her that, but she didn't get what I meant. My step-grandparents did come over for the weekend, though. We had a lot of fun together, and step-grandpa promised me that he'd get us Lakers tickets if they make it to the playoffs. And not just for him and me, but for my cousin, her fiancé, my dad, and his wife too. So I really hope they do. They did ask me about my mom and told me she got a really big promotion at work, but I guess they knew talking about her was making me sad since they only brought it up once. Oh, and to the people messaging me asking about my uncle and if he's the same uncle I mentioned who has a son, yes, he is. When my uncle's partner was alive, he got custody of his nephew because his sister died, and my uncle and his partner raised him together. So, he is my uncle's son and my cousin, and his daughter is my niece. I got 12 people messaging me, and it's probably just one troll, but it is very annoying. If you guys have any advice that I can bring up with my therapist, I would love to hear it. 8th update 2 months later. So I guess I'm posting here because I need to vent somewhere, as it feels like nobody is listening. I guess the first thing is that, other than texting, my mom and I haven't talked at all, except for this past weekend. The first thing is that my cousin is getting married, and she told me that she wants to have kids as soon as she gets married. Since my aunt isn't alive, and neither are our real grandparents, she wants my mom to be her kid's grandma. I don't know why that still made me feel so weird, especially because I was there when my cousin called my mom, and she seemed so happy and excited, even though this is like 2 years away. But my mom has been taking care of my cousin since she was about 11 or 12, and they both mean a lot to each other, so I tried to get over it. And then my step-grandpa got tickets for me, my dad, my cousin, and her fiancé to the Lakers/Warriors game. My step-grandpa couldn't come, even though he wanted to, because my step-grandma and my mom's wife got sick, and my mom didn't feel she could take care of both of them alone. I still had the best time at the game and saw LeBron and Steph Curry, and the Lakers even won, but I wish everyone could have gone. And then I got into UVic, UBC, SFU, McMaster, Waterloo, Guelph, and the University of Guelph. I think it's because of my extracurricular projects and clubs, as my English grades are still very bad, even though I'm doing great in everything else. So my mom called me and said she was coming over this past weekend because it was a long weekend and we were going to talk about university and her will. I got nervous but excited because she was actually going to come. She came on Friday and said she'd be staying with my cousin, but she came to our house first. She looked a lot different. I mean, she seemed so much skinnier than before, and she had her hair dyed jet black with green streaks in it. She was also wearing all these fancy and expensive clothes that she never wore before, like a Versace dress, and she promised to get me one too. She also got a tattoo on her wrist with my name and showed it to me, and the design was beautiful, but it was so weird seeing her look so different. She said she'd leave on Monday, which gave us the entire weekend together. She took me and my boyfriend out for dinner, and we even watched the new Fast and Furious movie, and she didn't even make those jokes about us getting married. I stayed over at my cousin's that night, and we cuddled, slept in late, and made breakfast together, which was a lot of fun. We spent that day together as well and then had dinner at a really nice place in Burnaby with my cousin and her fiancé. And then on Sunday, we finally had a talk. My mom, dad, and my dad's wife sat me down, and first, they talked about the will. My mom said she's leaving me most of what she has, with my cousin getting the rest, and my dad said pretty much the same. I don't want to go into specifics, but they kept talking about it in detail, like my great-grandmother's necklaces and what to do when I inherit their houses and life insurance, stuff I really didn't want to hear. It felt so morbid thinking about them being dead, and they wouldn't stop. They both said I'm going to university, I'm 17, and I need to know this, but it just soured my mood. Then I told my mom about the universities I got into, and she was so happy that I got accepted to so many. She said that as much as she wants me to go to UVic, she's proud of me either way and would be perfectly fine with me staying and going to UBC. But when I told her that my boyfriend was going to McMaster and I wanted to go there so we could be together, her face showed disappointment. She said that's not the right reason to choose to move all the way to Hamilton, and she can't support my decision if it's not for myself and my education. She added that if I'm serious about going to an East Coast university, then every other one on my list is just as good. That started another argument between us because I got really mad and asked what the problem was, and she asked if I was going to study or to support my boyfriend. Then she went on about intimacy and what if I got pregnant, and I yelled at her that she should be happy since she keeps talking about me getting married and having kids. She didn't yell back and just said that she was always joking about that and wouldn't make those jokes again. But then I brought up how she and dad were both 18 when they got married and then had me, and she started talking about how hard that made university for her, how it led her to repress who she was for so long, and how she wants me to focus on my future. When I said I wanted to have my future with him, she said she was going to talk to his mother about this, and I should be ready to break up with him if he can't handle long distance because it's the best thing for me. I started crying because I don't want to break up with him, and I didn't want to. As soon as I did, I could see her get really, really mad, like she wanted to scream at me, but all she said was that she's extremely disappointed in me and that she can't be here. She left and went to my cousin's house, and that just made me cry more. I fell asleep hugging my dad. On Monday, my mom, my dad, and my dad's wife met with my boyfriend's mom, and we weren't allowed to be there. I don't know what they talked about, but they agreed that we shouldn't go to McMaster together, even though I know they wouldn't have said that if we had both chosen UBC. My boyfriend's mad too, but he said he's still going to McMaster no matter what his mom says. Before my mom left, she told me she knows I'm mad at her, but one day I'll realize she was just looking out for me. She said I could choose any other university on my list, and she'll pay for it right away. It just makes no sense. I really want this, and yet they're all agreeing with her that I shouldn't. I talked to my cousin, and she said my mom has a point. I told my uncle, and he said I need to look at it like, would my boyfriend go to Guelph for me? Even though that's not the point. Even my counselor said my mom was right and that just because we've been having issues, and she's been on the wrong side of things, doesn't mean she's always wrong. I don't know what else to write. I'm just feeling really pissed off. 9th update 1 month 2 weeks later. Hey everyone, it's been a while since I posted, but my parents didn't let me online until now. I'm graduated now, prom has passed, and it was great. Then there was the convocation ceremony, and I did amazing on my final exams. I decided that I'd go to UBC. I still wish I could be going to McMaster, but most of my friends are going to UBC, Longara, or UVic, so I won't be completely alone. My mom was happy when I told her. She did say she wished I had chosen UVic, but she agrees that UBC is one of the best schools. Before convocation, we got into another argument. My friend Sarah is from Egypt, and now that high school is over, she's going there in August to get married. I know she's young, but she's known this guy since they were kids, and they were dating before she moved here. She's invited all of us to the wedding, and her grandparents, who are super rich, said they'd get us rooms at the best hotel. But once again, everyone said I couldn't go. My mom said that she doesn't want me to go to a country where people are persecuted for being gay or trans, but I googled it, and being gay isn't illegal there. My dad said the same thing about it. My uncle is gay and has been to Egypt and told me that foreigners aren't bothered by such things. He said that if I really want to go to Egypt, then next year he'll arrange for the family vacation to go there since it's one of my cousin's/his son's dream vacations, and I can come. But I want to go with my friends and see Sarah's wedding because apparently, it's going to be like a princess wedding out of a movie. Convocation was the best night of my life, everything about it was just perfect, and my favorite part was when they announced the scholarships we received, and I got so many. My mom and dad both looked so proud of me. Then all of us grads went to a party on a farm that a classmate was hosting, and it was amazing. My boyfriend and I had the best time, but in the morning, we broke up and decided to stay friends because he doesn't want to do long distance and thinks dragging it out over the summer would just be too painful. And I don't know, I just felt so wrong the day after that I did something really stupid, and it kind of made a mess of everything. The house became really crowded after that. My uncle came over, along with his son's wife and their daughter, my step-grandparents, and my cousin, and they all stayed over for about a week. I wasn't allowed out of my room, and someone had to be with me at all times. It was really weird. None of my friends came over to check on me because my mom had my cousin text them to keep them away, except for my friend Vanessa, whom I only met at a party in November. She came over anyway, stayed overnight with me, and even cried when I admitted what I did. She told me she thinks of me as one of her best friends. It was Vanessa's first time meeting my parents, and that went really well. My mom's wife really liked her when she found out she wanted to work in politics after graduation. My mom was really weird during that entire time, though, because I heard her arguing with my uncle a lot, but neither of them left the house. Someone would stay with me in the morning, and then after her remote work finished, she'd come to me. Even when she was working, she'd peek in every 15 minutes. What was really strange was that she didn't cry in front of me at all and kept telling me not to cry, leaving if I did. But I know I heard her crying in the washroom. I don't know what issue she has with me crying, and it's really making me feel so down every time I think about it. As for everyone else, my uncle made me promise never to do something stupid like that again. He told me that he knows I have actual grandparents now, but that he'll always see me just like he does his own granddaughter. My step-grandparents were so nice too and even brought my car over from Victoria because they thought it might cheer me up. My baby niece obviously had no idea what was going on, but it was really nice to be around her. It was also the first time in forever that my mom's wife and I actually got to spend some time alone together, and that was nice. It was funny talking to her about when she was in high school because she sounds like the exact opposite of who she is now. She also apologized to me about my mom only telling my cousin when they started dating and waiting until they were moving in to tell me. She explained that my mom wanted to tell me earlier, but she asked her not to until she was sure my mom was the one, and by then, they were moving. That made me cry, but hearing her apologize also made me feel better for some reason. My mom and her wife went back to Victoria, but my mom's come back 3 times already and even came with me and my dad to see my psychiatrist. She's been texting and FaceTiming me a lot more. Every time she sees me now, she's been hugging me more and calling me by a lot of baby nicknames, some that I had even forgotten about. She also said it was all right for me to go to Egypt if I really wanted to. I know that the stupid thing I did got her worried, but it feels so odd that it took that for her to snap back to how she used to be, and I don't know if it's real or not. I guess I'm posting here again because I've honestly missed being able to talk to people here and get advice from you guys. So, if you've got any, I'd love to hear it. 10th update 5 months 2 weeks later. Hi everyone. I know it's been a really long time since I posted, but I've been busy with university and other things. My mom has been coming over every other weekend, and if her wife doesn't have to travel for work, she comes too. I guess things have been getting better between us. Even when she's not here, she's always texting and calling, and I know it's because of what I did. I haven't tried doing something like that again. I've thought about it, but I haven't tried, and I don't think I will. And I have full control over my phone and internet again because my dad agreed that I need it for university. I did go on Instagram again, but I deleted it because of my mom's posts. They're just so weird. There's one of her and her wife that they posted for Pride, and they're barely covered, and my mom looks so skinny, like a skeleton. All the comments are from my friends' moms cheering them on. I just felt so gross seeing that, so I deleted the app. I think things between my mom and my uncle have been getting better. My uncle took me to the counter-protest against the anti-Sogi people in Vancouver. My mom found out, and she thanked him for taking me there, and then they hugged. They still don't talk to each other, but my mom hasn't said anything bad about him since. I'll be honest, I really don't like university. I just find it to be overwhelming and so stressful, and it feels like everyone is a genius. The subjects I was amazing at in high school are so much harder now, and I spend a lot of time in office hours. I've tried dating again, and I even went out with a girl a few times. My friend Vanessa set us up, but school has just been so on my mind that I had to say no. I just wish there was another way. I mean, I like the UBC campus and I've made friends, but I don't think I'm having the same university experience as everyone else. It's been really stressful, and I don't know, I just wish it were different. And I did go to Egypt in the summer. My mom told me that if my dad, my uncle, or my uncle's son, Miles, could go with me, then I could go. I know she only changed her mind because of what I did, but I'm still glad she let me go. Miles' wife was taking their daughter to see her family in America, so he went with me. It was honestly so fun. Sarah got all of us booked in this really fancy hotel. Her grandparents were so nice and took us on a boat tour, and then the wedding and the reception were so much fun. Sarah and her husband are living in Egypt now, working for her grandpa's company. It's so weird because she's pregnant now, and she's as old as I am. When Sarah's mom posted the news about becoming a grandma on Facebook, my mom and her wife were over. My mom read it and said, "Oh, I wish you got married and were having a baby too. I'm so jealous she's going to be a grandma." It was so weird, and I don't know why she always says things like that. I felt like throwing up because sometimes I feel like people are right with their comments that she just wants me to give her a baby since she can't have one anymore. My mom does go with me and my dad to every psychiatrist appointment, and the last time we went was so weird. My mom was told about how a lot of the things she said and did hurt me, and how she needs to let me cry, and that eventually I'll be able to get off meds. She just acted so weird, it took so much to get her to say sorry. She did apologize, and while she used all the right words, it didn't sound like she really meant it. She even argued with my psychiatrist about crying, then just said that she has a complex about it and that if I need to cry, she'll try to let me. So I think things are getting better, even though my mom is still being really weird about a lot of things. I will post again, but probably after the next semester break or later. I got a lot of DMs from people who were worried. I'm okay, I'm just busy because of school. 11th update 8 months 1 week later. Hi everyone, it feels like it's been so long since I've given an update. I really haven't been online at all. But honestly, after my last update, things got a lot better between me and my mom, and it was really good. She stopped coming over every weekend but still comes for all of my psychiatrist appointments. I didn't have any reason to update because she was good, and I felt good and happy, but school is still really hard, and I honestly hate it. One time, I told my mom just how hard it was and how I was getting C's in most of my classes this summer semester, and I did cry, but she didn't yell at me or get mad. She just hugged me instead. I just hate university now, it makes me feel stupid. I am back on Instagram because my mom took down all those photos where she was pretty exposed. When I asked her why, she didn't tell me, she just said she didn't need them anymore. But according to her wife, apparently a girl I graduated with tried flirting with her online, and she was so grossed out by the idea of anyone my age liking her like that that she deleted everything. Her wife said she was like, I could be her mom, and that idea made me laugh. She's also stopped losing weight. She's still super skinny, but she's not getting any thinner. But a big thing did happen last week, and it's why I'm updating again. I was spending the last 2 weeks before my classes start again at my mom's house in Victoria. I've been seeing this guy since May, and it's not that serious, but I thought I might have gotten pregnant, even though I'm not, so I snuck out and bought a test. When I used it, my mom's wife walked in on me and tried talking to me about it, but my mom overheard and came in, and things just got so bad from there. She freaked out and told me that if I'm pregnant, I have to marry whoever the dad is. Her wife said that's not the issue, that I might not be pregnant, and I don't need to ruin my degree over this. Then my mom got even angrier and yelled that she's not going to let me just kill her grandson and said they'd raise him if they needed to. I started crying, and she yelled that if I am pregnant, I have to learn to stop crying, just like she did. Her wife eventually took her away to her room, and I just kind of stayed there. Her wife came back about half an hour later, and I could still hear them arguing, even as she took me to my bed. She promised me that my mom was just in shock and that I wouldn't have to do anything I didn't want to do. I just went to sleep. I know they kept on arguing, but I just felt so bad. In the morning, my mom woke me up with breakfast in bed, though she still made me brush, and she apologized. She said she wanted so badly to have a grandson the right way that she got caught up. She admitted she was wrong and said that we would do whatever I wanted if I was pregnant, and that I wouldn't be killing anything. I told her it felt like she was lying because of all the things she said that made it seem like she did want me to have a baby. She said she was just eager, and it didn't mean anything, but that she'd stop saying it because it clearly had a bad effect on her. I'm not pregnant, I'm not having a baby or anything, but it really scared me because it's almost been a year and things had been so good, then this happened. I'm not seeing that guy anymore either. I don't want to think about what could have happened, and with my grades the way they are, I'd rather focus on doing well this semester. Oh, and to everyone messaging me about why I call my mom's wife that and not my stepmom, it's just because sometimes I mention my dad's wife too. In real life, I do introduce her as my stepmom. I didn't at first, but I started to after she did. I don't know when I'll update again. If things get good again and stay that way, I might not need to, because I won't feel the need to scream online.